Bali Bungkus today. So today we have Stefan who gonna talk about hacks of public speaking. And before that, I want to tell you more about our event this week. So for tomorrow, we are going to Cafe Folk for the lunch. You need to make a reservation to my email first. So shoot me an email to kashfi@hubud.org and I will book you a spot since we only have like 20 spots for this lunch. And also, the upcoming event will be Hubud Halloween. Is everyone already buy the tickets for Hubud Halloween? Because we already start selling the tickets, and it's only it's only 40,000 for Hubud members, and it's already included with the first drink as well. So. Since it's still like a early bird ticket, please get it as soon as you can because the ticket will increase next week. So right now I welcome you, Stephen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. At first, before I start at all, I want to make sure two things. These are two questions that get to me every time when I make this kind of presentation. Is Stefan, what the heck is a dolphin about? Okay, I just love dolphins. And the second question is, what has it to do with public speaking? Nothing at all. Okay? Just to make this clear, just to confuse a bit. It's kind of, how many of you know Murphy's Law? Ever heard of something? Yes? Can I see? Thank you. It has a rule when you can't, if you can't win, confuse. And this is one key point of my presentation today. If I can't win, or if you can't win, and if you want to make some notes, this is one thing you want to definitely write down. If you can't win, confuse. Because it's so great, it helps really a lot. So let's start with my presentation about hacks of public speaking. And public speaking is a very important theme because every one of us has stories to tell. Every one of us have some stories that we want to share, we want to tell to anybody. And the first thing I want to know is how many of you sat or already experienced the kind of presentation where you want to fall asleep immediately. How many of you sat in a presentation? Thank you so much. And how many of you never ever want to happen that in your own presentation? How many of you? Thank you so much. My name is Stefan Selmer, and in the next 50 minutes, I think that's the time I need. We take just 10 minutes afterwards to take some questions. In the next 50 minutes, we will talk about the 5 key secrets of. Okay, wait. Maybe I have to clarify something. When I do this in Germany, or when I do this on stages everywhere, when I speak about some kind of keywords like secret, yeah, maybe. In the crowd, normally there's such a noise like, ooh. Maybe can we try that? So just let me rewind and we just forget that this happened, okay? So today in the next 50 minutes, we'll talk about the 5 key secrets of public speaking. Okay, that's so great. It sounds like we never practiced that before. You're the best group I had today. Best group. Yes, the best group of today. So in the next 50 minutes, we speak about the 5 hacks of presentation. We will do that with a lot of fun. Maybe in another way or another kind of presentation you ever been part of. We will do that with all of that. Maybe if it sounds funny, all of that is based on real modern research of brain and psychology. We will do that. Normally there is also a kind of handout I hand out afterwards the presentation, but it is in German. I don't know if you want it, so come to me, give me your email address and I will send it to you, but it is in German with all of these, all of that stuff, why it is working and what is psychology about and what is, all of that kind of stuff nobody really is interested in because that I gave it afterwards. We will do that, so when you public speak with that hacks or regarding what I'm saying to you in the next 15 minutes, you will be able to make the people you're speaking to buy your products, working with your company, or just do what you want them to do. And therefore, it is absolutely crucial that we work here. Hello, come in. Take this seat, I reserved it exactly for you.
Awesome.
Yes. And therefore, it's absolutely crucial that we take responsibility about what we speak. That we act in this room here like kind of family. I want that nobody here gets disrespected. I want everybody here to respect each other. Is that okay for you? And yes, how many of you want that kind of presentation right now? Thank you so much. So let's start with this. The kind of why I'm speaking about that is in the past 8 years, I made finance businesses, and I spoke in front of thousands of customers and many of hundreds of employees to train them in kind of in finances and in selling. So very dry theater, not very interesting theaters at all. But I made them to the best of their companies. I made them to the best selling employees at all. In my spare time or in my free time, I love it to read and to travel the world with my loving partner Caroline, and to get to know new people, new stuff, to collect life moments, not things anymore. But that wasn't always that wasn't always so, because my past is it's quite lovely, isn't it? My past, when I was born in Magdeburg in Germany. Just one question: how many of you don't even know Magdeburg? Okay, everybody. I thought I kind of, but no problem. That's the same reaction when I do this in Germany. Yeah, same reaction at all. So I can just keep on going, because the thing is, when you look at Magdeburg, just one single little picture there, it's kind of like Bali. Except of the streets are very wide, because Germans, big cars, and we need wider streets. And because of Magdeburg isn't known internationally, it isn't known nationally at all, but it is known in the advertising industry. And I got one great pick. I will translate it to you. It's German advertising, please. And it means that, hey, you got promoted, you got moved up, and you were shifted to Magdeburg. Life is bitter. Yes, it's so we are quite well known. So thank you for that, Caroline. To say that my childhood was very safe, and not nothing spectacular or something. When I grew up a little bit, let us take a fast forward to when I was 16 or something. I was the ladies' guy. Yeah. As you can see, no problem with women at all. Yeah. Yes. And in this time in my life, it was a time where I was a bit complicated. How many of you were complicated childhood? Not fitting in the system? Yeah, you know that? And I've got a teacher that time. Her name was Mrs. Bush. What is her name again? I'm so... Bush, yes, okay, thank you. And Mrs. Yes, she was a person that over the years, she pulled her face inwards. You know, such people running around like they're all day because of such bitterness in their life. Everything they look about is, I don't want that. Oh, it's a flower, I hate flowers. Some people like that, you know? All of you know those people, and maybe not in Bali. I've never seen anyone like that in Bali. Maybe it's just a German thing, I don't know. Yes, everybody's laughing now. Maybe it's just a German thing. And she was kind of like that, and she said to me, Steffen, your future will be dark, and you have no options and opinions at all. And I ask you, was she right? No. Yes, absolutely. I was selling insurances 8 years after that. Sure, she was absolutely right. Yeah, and the time I was on to that, or after that, was I kind of call it the Wolf of Wall Street style. Yes, please? Wolf of Wall Street style. So I went to university, I broke that up because I don't want to. I got into insurance business, I was selling, earning a hell of money. And let me shorten that up, because I had everything in that time of my life. I had cash, big car, a whole lot of friends, yeah. This kind of friends you only have when you have everything, but they didn't know you when something went wrong or not as expected. But I wasn't happy at all in this kind of life. And let me really shorten that up because we have not so much time. In this time, I'm so glad and grateful about this time in my life because I learned so fucking much. I learned how to sell. I learned how to speak in front of people. I learned how to build up teams, how to train people in selling, how to train people, how motivation works, how that old style motivation, hey, work as hell, work as lot as hell, and you standing on that place one, you're getting some gold, flitter and party and all the time. I don't know how to speak it in English, so right. But I think you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. And after that were maybe 4 or 5 years in my life. Everything went well, and then the universe told me, okay, Stefan, this is not your way. How many of you have experienced such point in your life when the universe told you that is not your way? Let me show you another way. And one question, is that hard or is that easy? It's fucking hard. Yeah? It's fucking hard. Because the universe don't came and say, hey, come on, look, here's another way. No, it takes a big hammer and smashing all, thank you, yeah, and smashing all that pictures, destroy everything, and this has to be, because when you lie on the ground, and I fell from like this, yeah, 300 horsepower Mercedes-Benz, 10K a month, and I fell directly on the floor because everything broke up, 50K debt in the finance with taxes because it was not so my theme at all. And when I lay on the ground, and that is crucial about it, another possibility or a new way came to me. And this way came to me with one woman. And this woman was Gabi Lassinger. Gabi Lassinger, I met her at a personal development seminar in Germany in December last year. She told me about her past, and she told me about her mission, about her purpose in life. And this woman, to make it short also, because I could speak hours about her, she told me about what she's doing for the past 18 years. And she was at an maybe same point in her life, 18 years ago, coming from coaching industry, having everything but weren't happy, and making a travel to Nepal to find herself. But what she found was 3 little boys in the slums on the street of Nepal, and she got to know them, and she stood in front of a decision, going back home and let these children die because they hadn't anything, or staying there with them and helping them. She made the decision 18 years ago to build a project, the Happy Children project, and over the past 18 years she built up 2 orphanages. She's saving 400 children. Right now, every day, she's giving them food, shelter, and she's not only rescuing them from the streets, from the slums, but what her mission is, what her purpose is, to make good people out of these kids, to giving them education, to giving them possibility to go to college, to high school, where only 3% of the whole country is able to go to high school, to make a university graduation. And she told me about that. And this was the time when I heard her story, and I looked back at my life and I realized I've never ever done anything for anyone else than me. All my life I was collecting things, money, was raising or was working for, hey, give me that, I wanted that all. Alcohol, drugs, women, all that kind of stuff. But I never ever done anything for anyone else. And when I realized that this woman for the past 18 years is just doing anything for anyone else, for these children in Nepal, I sat there and I cried for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I sat there and she told me about that, and I couldn't believe it. It was so way out of my universe, all of my whole world I've known. And I couldn't believe that. And that touched me so deeply in my heart that I made a decision. I made a decision that the thing also why I'm standing here today, and the thing why we are in Bali, and the thing why my life developed in the past year, how it developed, I made a decision to use what I have, what the things that I can, to speak in front of people. I am loud. I'm quite visible. Yes, I know that. I'm quite visible. I have no problem to speak to foreign people, to people I don't know, to get to know each other. No problem with that, and to give people like Gabi a voice. And therefore, Carol and I built up one project. It's called, yes please, it's called Change the World. Change the World was our project from maybe April this year to, yes, last month, the 24th of September, we made a charity project. We rent up this room, fill it up with 250 people, and get these perfect people on stage, and Gabi to give her a stage, to give her a place to speak about her mission, to speak about her purpose, because I think, and that's the way, that's the why I'm doing this, that everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has a story to inspire, to change other people's life, to change other people's worlds or universes, like she did with mine. She changed my life completely. She changed my whole universe completely. And that's the way, or that's the why I'm standing in front of you and want to tell you some hacks about public speaking, why you should learn about that, why it is so crucial to know how to speak in front of people. Because how many of you have a story to tell? How many of you believe that you can influence other people positive? Yes. And why aren't you doing that every day? That's the kind of our human beings, to be in connection, to be in correlation with other people, to speak to other people, to speak about positive things. And this is the kind I want to, can you make it black some kind of way, or? No, not that. This is the way, or this is the point where I wanted to start with our secrets. Ah, perfect. It works just after 50 minutes. I wanted to start with point or secret number one. Secret number one, every of these 5 secrets is very, very, very important and crucial about all. But all of that, I could speak maybe 10, 15 hours, 2, 3, 5 days about public speaking. But this is a process, like it's a process. When you start this way, you go it, and every step you take will bring you nearer to that position you want to be sometimes in some years. So the first thing about public speaking is storytelling. Storytelling. Maybe I just asked, the first question I asked you was, how many of you sat in boring presentations? And nearly every one of you raised their arm. What was so boring at these kinds of presentations? Maybe give me some points.
It was not interactive.
It was not interactive at all, okay? So the people staying in front of here with their thousand slide PowerPoint and speaking to the wall. How many of you know these people? They're speaking so, okay. Okay, then reading their own slides. You know them? Okay, first point is storytelling. Storytelling is about, oh God, yeah? Why? What were that other boring points with these presentations?
Jargons,
What?
overwhelming data and numbers and
Overwhelming data and numbers, and yes. When people, maybe there's one good example I can do here. One of my mentors said it to me. When we learn things, and that is about making other people to learn something. When we sit in elementary school, how's the way we learn things? Is there a teacher in front of us reading a script for 45 minutes? No, that is not possible at all with children. But how did we learn in elementary school? when the teacher wanted to learn us the word pen, what did we all do? This is a pen. This is a pen. This is a yes. And with this, it may sound silly. And how many of you feel it's kind of weird? How many of you? No, nothing. No, okay. That's normal. When I was at first in this kind of presentations, I thought, what the heck? Shall I repeat everything you say? I'm not in elementary school. Yes, but we should be our whole life. Because what kids learn in elementary school, the learning level, when you compare it to university students, is like that. It's kind of elementary school and university level. We just think because the stuff we learn or the thematers we learn about in university are so complex that it is more efficient or better. No. The things we learn when we are child, from 3 to 7, the things we learn in that time are so much more and worthy and long-lasting, like the things you learn in university. Storytelling. What was another boring point in your presentations? Data and facts, yeah, thank you.
Delivery, sometimes monotonous delivery, just fall asleep.
Okay, he not connected with you?
No, like the actual, how they speak without any inflection or anything like that.
Ah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now let us come to the second point. And yes, this kind, yes. Another point, please?
There's no arc intention, so when they come to the real important stuff, it doesn't feel like it's more important than other stuff. So they might have like a very important point after like 50 minutes, but you already fell asleep 20 minutes ago because there was no
Yes.
change in topic or whatever.
Yes, thank you so much. There were 2 points I want to connect to this point of storytelling. That is the okay, what?
I'm so sorry.
So we made it blank, we just needed it right now. The point storytelling is when, okay, perfect. It's just confusing me, blue light, I don't know what it is. The thing is what you said, overwhelming data and facts and rational stuff. It is, with brain research, has proven that we can interact with rational stuff farther less than we can interact with emotional stuff. So everything you want to share, everything you want to tell other people about, try to put it in stories. I could have told with the first 10 or 15 minutes I stand here and I told about Gabi and what she told to me. I could also tell, okay, my name is Steffen Selmer. I'm standing here because I think everybody has a story to tell, and I want you to help to tell it. How many connection is there with you? Not so much as if I told this story with Gabi. What she told to me and what this means in my life and what my life before were and why that was such a big difference and what the completely new world were. This is storytelling. Storytelling based on stories you had in your life. Stories that are emotionally for you. And there's one big point, vulnerability. When you stand here in front of people and you are this kind of this Wolf of Wall Street guy, yeah? Coming here with a €1,000 suit or standing here and everything in your life is perfect. Yeah, you have a perfect wife, perfect job, you're earning a lot of cash, you have a perfect car, and everything is perfect. No one in the audience connects to you. Because come on, whose life is perfect? How many of you have some points in their life they aren't perfect at all? Yes. Everyone does. Everyone has these points in their lives, and every one of us is searching in other people to connection. And when there is someone, and when you are here and speaking about your business, about your idea, about what you want to share to the world, about what you want to give back, or anything, and you don't share that as well, that you struggled in life, that there were points you didn't know which way to go, that there were points you're crying out to the universe and say that all is not fair. What the fuck? Why me? We all had those points in our lives. And when you share that as well, it just makes you more connected with the audience. It just makes you that them feeling you. And when them or you feel me and my why and my story I tell about, you are able to get all the points I say to you much better. And you connect these facts, data, and sheets, and these are also important. You connect them with the story. So that leads me to the second point I want to share with you. Where's the pen? This is a yes. Thank you. This is the second point, and the second point is also important. I wanted to. Do we have different colors? Just imagine it were different colors now.
Yeah.
Yes? Do we have? Oh, thank you. So let me write or let me draw something. This is I don't know what it is, but this is a mug. Yeah? I draw so bad I ever write aside what it is. This is a mug, yes? And inside, okay, now that I know what it is, I know what it is. I can clearly see that it is a mug, yeah? Okay, and inside of this mug, there is coffee. Whether it is Balinesian coffee or this pulver or it doesn't interest at all what it is. But inside of that is my world. Inside of that is coffee. Let me write that down as well. Coffee. And what I want to share with you is the thing, what is more important, the coffee or the mug? What do you think?
Both.
The mug, yes?
Both. I mean, both.
Both? Okay, what is more important?
In what sense?
You have to decide. What is more important?
The coffee.
The coffee. Okay. The coffee. Other opinions?
Mark.
The mug, yes. The mug. Okay. Why do you think the coffee is more important?
Well, because coffee is what I'm looking at, right?
Yes.
Mug is just a container. It doesn't matter what, like you said, Balinese coffee, but you did not really specify which mug. It doesn't matter whether it's ceramic, it's metal, or anything. It's
Yes.
the coffee it's the content. It's what I'm having. It's what's going inside.
Yes. You're connecting the right words. So let me bring that to the audience as well. So we're speaking about content. Just imagine that is an N. So, and the frame. The content and the frame. And this is such an interesting question. What is more worthy, or what is more important? Because you're completely right. Both are important. But the thing is, we need to know is that the frame is crucial about us to have the ability to take content. Because imagine you came to a cafe and you say, okay, I want to have a coffee. And there is no mug at all. Or maybe there's a mug and there's such a 1 centimeter crack in it. You're putting the coffee in it, bring it to you, and it's empty. And you would say, hey, yes, thank you, 20K for nothing. Yeah, do you understand? The coffee is important. It's hell important. Your content must be really, really, really good. But to make sure that your audience can at least, or just to ensure that your audience can get the content, to get it in the brain, not just to hear it and like a popcorn reflects from the forehead. You know what I mean? I don't know. In German, it makes sense. it makes sense in German. Believe me.
Great, that's a great picture.
That's a great picture. Yeah. Just the information comes, the content comes, pop, and it's away. It doesn't get into your brain because that is so important. You have this mark, this frame, and to build up a frame, you can do dozens of things. There are I don't know, there are 20 books or something that are writing just about the frame, how to frame a good conversation, how to frame a good presentation. It's kind of like to do with the room temperature, how there are, how many distractions from outside there are, what the group is structured like, how you made the introduction of your speech and all of that. So the thing that I want you to know is when you have your information you want to speak about, and it's the thing you brought in, too much information, just data and sheets and facts, and this is someone who only concentrates on the coffee. Just bringing information, standing here with 1,000-slide PowerPoint and pointing one information after the other. The human brain is capable of taking or working with 7 new informations per hour. 7 per hour. That's not much. Some presenters have on their first slide more than 7 informations. You know, and when you do this, they got the information overload and the brain closes. And then you have this popcorn pop. And the thing is that most people come to the point not on their first slide, not on their second, not on their third, and this is completely okay to build up. But when you build up in a way that on the first slide the brain closes of your audience, you have no chance at all to get your most important information or your story, your why, your purpose to the audience. So that is crucial that you know the content is important, but there has to be a frame to frame this that the audience can absorb it. It's like the right word, absorb, I don't know. Okay, can kind of absorb it. Third point, I want you to know is, and this is very interesting stuff, it's called super learning. And super learning is kind of theory that came from, or that comes directly from the USA. It's quite new. They researched it for the past 10 years, 8 to 10 years, and it's also called accelerated learning techniques. But I think super learning is way cooler. And I remember super learning, like Superman or something, all the super. I remember that better. And super learning is all that we do all the time. Super learning, accelerated learning techniques is bringing interaction in your presentation. Is your, how many of you oh, wait a second. How many of you recognize that we have the same templates all the time? How many of you? Like the thing with raise your arm. How many of you is a template? How many of you is a template that is one of the most important templates in super learning? Because when you bring your audience to move just the arm maybe, or when you do something like practices in your audience. So like, everybody stand up, please. Come on, do it with me. Everybody stand up, please. Thank you, and sit down. Yeah, for the most of you, or for some one of you, that might be silly, but why do I have to stand up now? And this is the thing. You connect your experience. Well, what the fuck was that? You maybe not remember my name in a few months, or maybe tomorrow, but you will remember the time when you were here and you have to stood up, you have to raise your arm every like 2 minutes. This you will remember, and you will connect this information I give you with that. And super learning, it's accelerated learning techniques connect exactly to that. It's bring interaction. Oh, let's take another. Interaction. Let's bring interaction into the audience. So speaking your sentences not to the end. Leave open holes, like my teacher when I was a child, Mrs. Bush. And you all remember her. You never met her. This information is so useless for you. Completely useless for your life. But you remembered it. And when I ask you tomorrow or in 2 days, you will remember it. Although it's completely useless. How many of you would like to remember useful things like this? You have to do it like this. You have to exactly do it like this. Bring yourself into movement. Connect things like weird stuff, like raising your arm, like speaking other sentences to the end, like, hey, maybe look at the person next to you and give him a high five. Do it. Look at the person next to you and give him a high five. Yes. And maybe yes. And maybe you bring some more action into this. So maybe look at the person next to you, give him a high five, and say, "I will remember everything until now." One more, yes. Yes, I will remember everything. I will remember everything. Yes. No, please, not so hard, please. Yes, okay. And the thing is, for the first times I sat in those presentations, and this was kind of maybe something important. Yes. You remember things when it hurts. Yeah. Yeah, sure. It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same principle. When you connect things, when you connect information with emotion, like love, lust, pain, disgust, all of that. When you connect these things, maybe it's out of psychology. When you go with the elevator all your whole life, and one time you use the elevator and it goes stuck, and you are in there with maybe no electricity, no light, in the dark of one square meter for 4 hours. It's likely that you will never use elevator again, because there was this one information to your brain, elevator, and you connect it with your feelings, with fear, with angst, with this. Okay, it's not that, I don't know. Yes, yes, you can use it. Huh? when you connect that, this is how our brain works. And when you connect these informations you want with good feelings, like just speak to completely unknown people on the street and give them a hand and say, "Hello, how are you?" Good. Yes, okay. And when you are afraid of speaking to other people, that is the thing you have to do. You have to do that. You have to collect these experiences. You have to collect the experience that nothing happens, nothing bad. You get a smile, you get a good feeling, okay, and you connect the information, people I don't know, with I get a smile, with hey, the good feeling, and so you bound these emotions, you bound this information to that feeling, and it will be more likely that you have no problem at all to speak to people you don't know, to speak in front of people. That's the point that's coming. Interaction, and There was another point I wanted to say to you, but I forgot it. Yes, and this is the thing. And this is all the way the accelerated learning techniques why the elementary school works so well. With this is a pattern to speak other sentences or to re-speak something. You learn that kind of way. The next point in accelerated learning techniques or super learning, there are so many books about that. There's one book, I don't know the title in English, but I can, when you give me your email addresses, I send you a book list I recommend to this themata. It's so big you can do a whole lot of things with this kind of accelerated learning with super learning. It's so amazing when I got to know this for the first time. And I sitting there, what the heck? And then I got into this, and wow, that's genius, yeah. And the next is connected with the last two, and maybe what was number one? The secret. Storytelling. What was number two? Yes, frame and content. Maybe you wanna remember the mug and the coffee. This picture is way more rememberable than the information frame over content, because frame over content is just an information. You don't connect it with anything. But when I want to remember this, I see the mug of coffee, and I see when I drink coffee, I have to use a mug, or I see me under the coffee machine without mug, and this minus 90 degrees coffee burning into my mouth. Yeah, that picture in your mind, when you connect it to that information, that will be way easier to remember. The fourth thing is so important: the why. When you speak about anything, when you speak to one person, one single person, or a group of people, maybe 3 or 5, 6, or in front of a Bali Bungkus, or in front of 20 people, they are wondering one thing all the time, all over the time. Why is he doing what he is doing? You can be the best golf player. Okay, that's cool. We all know that certain people are the best at their profession. I don't know, what's the best golf player in the world right now? Do anybody know them? No? Tennis? How is he called? What? Okay, I don't know him. let's take him. I don't know about tennis. I have no clue. Let's take him. So everybody knows that he's good or the best at tennis. But okay, that's information. You accept that, checked. You put it away in your head. But when he is speaking in front of you, and he is telling you his story, why he plays tennis, why he started to. I just said in a presentation of a fisher, and yes, it's fisher, the thing you throw in the water and fishing. Yes, I said in a presentation from a fisher, and he said something like, "Okay, there was one point in my life when I was 4 years old. I had a short trip with my father, who was in a very high position in a big concern and was traveling around very lot of time, and we hadn't time at all when I was a child, and this is the most important time when you're a child, to have your connections to your father and mother. And we made a trip to the St. Holland Canal. I don't know what it's called in English. And we made a trip to that, and we sat there all night long with my father with a small lantern, and were fishing. One of my beautifulest memories of my whole childhood. That is why I started fishing professionally. And when you hear that, and when I heard that, I have no clue from fishing. I had no clue at all, and this themata was so away from me. I wasn't connected to the thema fishing at all. But when he told that, when he shared his story, why, I was connected to him, because I could feel him at that way. From this point on, I could feel him as a human being, and I was into his themata because I understood why he shows this themata, and I was inside of that. So your why is way more important than your what. It's kind of the same thing like the frame, like the coffee and the mug. It's the why you do something is way more important to what you do. I could tell about maybe an hour about what we do with Change the World, with our project, what we will do, and what our plans for the future are, and but our why and why we built this up and why we made this, to give a stage for people who can't share their stories in that way. That why is way more important to me, and it's way more important for you, the audience, than what exactly are we gonna to do. You get this? Okay. So I hope you're into that for a test later on. Oh God, there's a test. No. Okay. And then I want to come to my last point, and that's also the point where I need my presentation. Is it still on? You see it? Yes, very good. And the thing is, all we speak about public speaking and sharing stories and influencing other people and to give them something of yourself, share something of yourself. All these points we made clear, we spoke about in the past maybe 40 minutes or something. All we speak about, that is at some point of your life your own decision. Noch bitte. Next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. Yes, that's your own decision. At one point of life, you have to make a decision, and maybe you did months, years ago, or maybe you are up to that. But at some time, at some point of your life, you come to a point where you make a decision. What want I to be? Like everybody else, like normal, like one of the masses, sitting there every time, or you want it to be special. And if it's a unicorn or something you look like, it don't matter at all, doesn't matter at all. Or if you want to be the guy standing here, or not at Bali Bungkus at all, but in front of other people and sharing, not just taking. Like me in my former life, just taking, just collecting, just never ever giving. And then I made the decision, or universe came to me and made this decision for me and said, okay, now it's time for giving. Now it's time for sharing. And you all have a story to share. You all have something to give into this world. You all are worthy. There's greatness within you, within every one of you. And even if you don't know what, even if you haven't found it yet, the one point that makes you so special, the one point you can do better than anyone else on this whole planet. The reason why you came to this planet, the reason why you are on Earth. I believe that we all have a purpose. And when you find this purpose, it is your decision, or if you know or have a feeling, or maybe there's some little voice inside of you inside of your heart, inside of your head, I don't know, that tells you, okay, maybe I should try this. Maybe, but what if, and fuck on what if. Just take this little voice and try to experience, make these experiences, connect these experiences with your information, with, hey, I want to speak public about that, so speak public about that. And that is my last point, is practice. One of my mentors said, stage makes stage. If you go on the stage and you speak in front of people, use every chance to speak in front of people. Every. I came here to Bali for maybe vacation, little work, maybe just to clarify what we want to do with Change the World in future. And we got to know Leo, and she asked me, hey, maybe you want to speak in front of Bali Bungkus. And what did my head say? No, what the fuck? First time in English, you never did it in English. Never, ever. You just did it. You just did that presentation maybe 5 times or 4 times. You can't speak in front of foreign people in a foreign language. That's completely. But you have to say fuck your head and shut up. Shut the fuck up, because that little voice in your brain is holding you back from everything. How many of you experienced that before? That there's a little voice in your brain that says, no, I can't do that. No. Everything that is new. And your brain is supposed to do exactly that. Your brain is made for that. Your brain is made for protecting you, keeping you alive. And all you know is, okay, what I've done in my former life, I'm still alive, that was good. When I want to do something new, okay, something new, I can't connect to the past. I don't know if I want to die, maybe don't do it. I don't know if going on stage means staying alive. I don't know. And your brain holding you back. So my mentor say it more directly, very more directly, and he say, your brain is fucking you all day. Because your brain is holding you back. Your brain is telling you, don't do anything in life. Don't change anything. Stay exactly the same person as you are right now, because you're alive. And that's my job, to keep you alive. But that's not life, isn't it? That's not life. Staying the same person you are for the next 60, 70, 80 years. Living exactly in the same place, knowing the same people, having the same job, earning the same money, doing the same things, never experiencing new. That's not life. And so our brain isn't meant to be experience life. So we have to know, or we have to hear at our heart. And this little voice there, inside there, this is very, very smaller, and you have to hear clearer to that voice what it says. And it says, okay, it feels right, let's try. Or when you look at the stage and there is something in your heart and says, I'd like to stand there also. But then your brain comes, no, we won't. Say shut up and go on stage here. And disconnect from the success or not success. Disconnect from the outcome. Just take the experience. Standing here in front of people, smiling at you, looking at you, nodding, and this feels great. Every time. And this is the reason I stand here today. This is not the reason because I think I'm such a great person and I know so fucking a lot of public speaking and I'm better than you and I want to teach you. No. The reason I stand here is I want to practice. And I take every stage I can get. And this is my most important tip I can give you. Use every single possibility to speak in front of other people. about what's moving you inside here. Not about all the facts and sheets, and yes, these are important. This is the hot coffee. It is important, but speak about the why. Why you are doing something. Why are you the person you are? Why have you become that thing? That person you are right now. And then do it completely different. Do it with the 4 former secrets of public speaking. Secret number 1, without looking in your it's storytelling. Yes, it's the story Gabi told me and changed my life completely. Point 2, without looking. I see you. Without looking. It's a hot coffee directly into your mouth. It isn't possible. You burn everything. Yeah, don't try it. Don't try this at home. Yeah, don't try this. You need a mug. 3. Super learning. Getting interactions. Getting connected with the people. Saying how many of you will do that will do this in your presentations? No one? Okay, I have to go. How many of you will do this? Yes, everyone. Sure, because it works. And this doesn't came. It don't came. This does not came from me. Yeah, this comes from very, very, very intelligent people that are researching that for years, not from me. So they found out that this works. And when you want to communicate with people, when you want to speak in front of other people, you should try that. You should use that, and you should you should definitely try that, because that is so hard. First time you get in front of people, and there's this little voice in your brain, and you know you want to ask how many of you, and you want to raise your arm, and this little voice inside you have, what if nobody else's raised their arm? And you're the only one in this whole room with your arm raised there, and then, okay. And the most important thing is, even if that don't work with the first time, you have to repeat it so often until it works, because it works. But that's hard. It's so hard to stand in front of people. And last time, I want to share a short story with you. Last time I spoke at the Day of Communication in Germany, in Fulda, in front of 250 businessmen. It was under the week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. And I was the first on stage. I was kind of moderating this event, and I'm having the first 45 minutes. I'm coming there, and all of these guys, everyone, this kind, what the fuck? And I did exactly that. How many of you? No one raised their arm. No, not one. Second time, no. Third time, no. Fourth time, 3 people. And then you know you got them, because when the audience sees that in the audience there is someone who interacts with you, they see, okay, it's okay for us to interact with this guy on stage. And then again, it went more. And after maybe 6, 7, 8 times, every single one in the room were raising hands. And this is so important, because to get to the facts, when you raise your arm, your both brain halves connect. And when you got an information and raise the arm, your both brain halves connect, and the ability to remember things with both brain halves connected is more. It's way better. So that is all the theoretical kind of stuff behind that super learning thing. It's so mighty and so powerful, but it's hard to do that. To continue repeating, raising your arm, even if you're the only one doing it. If you're the only one, look at the person right next to you, give him a high five. Nobody does that the first time. No one. Maybe the American. They know this kind of stuff way better, but in Germany, no one does. First time, second time, third time, maybe third, fourth time. So they're getting used to it. And you have to do this. So I think, or I hope, I could give you some information, and I think we have the last. I don't have no time.
Continue.
Okay, we do the last 5 minutes for question. Do you have any questions or things that are not certain, or if you could put this to your kind of presentation, to your theme, towards if it fits to you? Don't know. Any questions?
What if it's like a super dry, you know, these are the sales figures for the month type
Yes.
presentation?
It's very good question. Thank you very much for that. The theme isn't. Let me. There was one guy speaking about making glasses, but he was an eye doctor, and he wore glasses, and he made some fashionable glasses, and that's also dry thematter at all. Making glasses is not very special. It's not very fancy. He starts. It's kind of how you start with it and how you connect the people. It's like the Fisher got me into this theme over his story, and this kind of eye doctor making glasses said, when I was 3 or 4 years old, I fell down the stairs in my parents' house all the time. And also in school, all the time I fell down the stairs, and my parents brought me to several doctors because they thought something in my brain was damaged. So I wasn't able to get the stairs right. And what they found out is that I couldn't see enough, and I had to wear glasses. But when I got back to school with my glasses on, that was 20, 30 years ago, glasses weren't as fancy as today, he got mobbed for his glasses, and he let his glasses at home because he don't want to be mobbed as a kid. And he accepted falling down the stairs all the time just not to be mobbed. And because of that, because he experienced that, his mission and purpose was to make glasses that are so fancy that the children will use them and don't get mobbed with this. So even if you have a completely dry thematter, try to connect it with your why. Why is this thema that 99% of all human beings think that's completely dry? Why are you interested in it? For you it isn't dry, isn't it?
It could be. I mean, it could be like your weekly presentation that you do every week to give the sales figures, and everyone knows why they're there, and they don't want to be there, and it's boring. It's like necessary content that you need to give people.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is this boring information that everybody has to get, I would print it on a kind of handout and speak about stories. What was specially to this month? Maybe put a joke in it, or maybe connect it to stories, connected to super learning. I don't know. Maybe try to make it new ways. Not speak there and okay, this week's sales were last week's sales were last year's week's sales were. This is boring, sure. But you don't have to read these numbers. You can print it and everybody has it. Nobody will read it. So maybe 2 or 3% will read that because they are really interested in. But over 90%. They don't read that facts, but when you read it loudly in front of the people, 90% of your audience will fall asleep because they aren't interested in it. So why to input it in the presentation? I don't know. My sales training, but I don't speak so often about the exactly numbers. I spoke about stories and vision, and the exactly numbers were in a PDF everyone could download. Nobody did. I spoke about what are our goals and why we are here and why we wanted to raise up our sales. That's what I did.
So yeah, so maybe some information is not best given through a presentation. Like if you're just having to give these numbers, maybe that kind of stuff should be in an email, and then the
Yes.
presentation is
Yes.
something else.
The presentation is about something everybody is interested in, or should be something everybody's interested in. Because when you do presentations all over about things nobody's interested in, you will connect those information. There is a meeting, there is a presentation with boring, and then you could do whatever you want in front of here. The audience thinks, okay, another boring presentation. Don't do that. Other questions? Come on, folks.
What was the biggest challenge for you in terms of public speaking when you first started?
So into this whole thing, public speaking, I got a very good introduction about my former sales time. I spoke in front of my own team. That was at first it was one person, so I spoke with you all the time, then 2, then 3, then 5, then 6, then 10. And when you are used to speaking to 10 people, that's no problem to speak about this theme, about sales. I could play, pause, rewind, front. Or I can do that because I've done it for 8 years. The biggest challenge for me when I were out of that theme I knew, when I did this kind of presentation the first time inside a seminar from my mentor Tobias Beck, where I learned all that kind of stuff. When I was in a group of 60 people, and then, okay, Stefan, now it's you. You have 15 minutes in front of all. Speak. About what? About anything. What? I don't know. So we just learned how to build up and how the templates are, how you start and you start in this presentation, and I stood there and I didn't get out a single word. And then the biggest challenge for me was not one thing, but to repeat that kind of how many of you look at your partner, give them a high five, saying that this super learning stuff, because it's in Germany completely unknown. Nobody does that. Nobody do that. And you are, when you come to stage, you are the single one doing that kind of interactive stuff. German audience is used to the kind of guy standing with the back to the audience and doing this. So when you come on stage and doing completely different stuff, they are kind of, oh, what's going on? I don't like that. And then you have to give them time. Maybe I could like that. Maybe I like that. Maybe I try it. Oh, I like it. Yeah. So that is the German audience. I don't know. I've not spoken in front of international audience before. You are my first audience international. So yes, this the biggest challenge is to keep it running. To collect even more experience, and more and more and more and more, and to getting here. To say to Leo, yes, saying yes, it's an automatism. I learned that for myself. When there is an opportunity and that scares me, I say yes, because I have to. Where the fear marks the way. Maybe you know that quote from some very, very great person says that. Where the fear is the way, so I said yes. But yesterday and today, oh, what the fuck, what I'm speaking about, doing the presentation completely in English, completely new, I don't know what it works like. This is challenging all the time, but you have to do it. And now it feels great.
So are you saying this is your first English presentation?
Yes, it's my first English presentation.
Okay, not bad.
Well done.
Amazing. Bro.
Thank you so much. Another question? So, thank you so much for joining.